So it is my honor to introduce one of the biggest champions for Best Starts for Kids as our keynote speaker today. Sheila Ader Capistani is King County's Strategic Advisor for Children and Youth and Director of the Children, Youth, and Young Adult Division. Sheila has over 30 years of experience in both the nonprofit and public sectors, working on initiatives that emphasize supporting women, young children, and families. Since 2015, Sheila has been the project leader for Best Starts for Kids, as well as working in public outreach and strategic planning and acting as a liaison to local government partners. Sheila is an insightful and innovative leader in our community, bringing early childhood development, as well as youth and family health and well-being into the foreground of our community discussions. She holds both a Master of Public Health and a Master of Social Work from the University of Washington and is passionate about the connections between local and global health and well-being and supporting community-based efforts near and far. Sheila, thank you for being here with us today. We are truly honored to have you join us.
Thank you, Lisa. I am thrilled to be here, celebrating with you Kindering as an organization, but also Kindering as community, as family, and as a place where our children and families belong. I'm sorry not to be with you in person. I love more than anything the energy in a room when people come together with that sense of celebration and belonging, but I'm also happy to be able to join with you virtually in this celebration. I'm excited about this year's theme, A Salute to Courage. I'm a woman who likes words, and at the beginning of every year, I choose a word that defines what I will need or what I hope to live by for the coming year. For 3 years running now, I've chosen the word stamina. It just seemed like every year in the past several, I've gotten to that point of choosing when I've thought, wow, we're not done yet. I've got to dig down and keep on keeping on. So more than the word we hear so much right now, resilience, or our ability to bounce back, I've needed stamina. I've needed the ability to keep going even when I didn't feel like I could bounce back one more time. This year, though, I decided enough is enough. I still need stamina, but I also need connection and community. And really, I need fun. So I decided to add a word this year. So 2 words for this year. My 2 words are joyful stamina. I still need to keep going, but I will find every moment I can to create and absorb and share joy. Now I'm going to take a minute to state the obvious. We have been in it, haven't we? The last year and a half have been unlike any in our collective experience. We have lived with fear and rage and anxiety. We've lived with helplessness and grief, a sense of isolation. We've been impacted as a people by a life form we can't even see, but by now we all know what it looks like. We've been overwhelmed by trying to sort out what is truth and what is real, and how do we accept the differences among us and still call us whole. We have been in it, and we are still in it, and we are still trying to hold and deal with all of those things. But I also saw something else, more important than I have in my lifetime. I saw millions of people take to the streets, in rage, yes, but also with the demand that we become our better selves, and therefore with the conviction that we can become our better selves. I saw big institutions turn on a dime to provide care for those among us who fall sick. I saw community organizations rally around communities and families, almost instantaneously going virtual with services and support. I saw families and friends checking in more, connecting more, creating bubbles of support. I saw folks risking their lives to make sure that others were okay. I saw the incredible strength of families figuring out how to parent and teach and work from home all at once. And I saw acceptance and caring on Zoom calls where children became a regular part of the calls. I saw individual people reaching out to one another by phone, by text, by email to ask if we were okay, or to say, I am not okay, can you help me? That is also what happened in these past couple of years. And it's really important to me that we remember that piece as well. So these 2 ways of being that we have been through, these heavy, soul-searing ways, and these deeply hopeful, loving ways, having to hold on to these 2 things is one of the reasons I love so much this year's theme of celebration with Kindering, A Salute to Courage. Because of all the things we've had to dig deep into this past year and a half, we have had to dig deep into courage. Courage to keep moving forward, courage to look closely and honestly at hard things, courage to keep moving when it seemed like the world was on fire, and courage to keep moving when our world was literally on fire. Now, having said all of this, I know that none of you here today are strangers to courage. Aside from the grand scale we have been living in, I know that each of us still had to get through our everyday. We still have to raise our kids. We still have to figure out resources when we need more support. We still have to live with the diversity of our families and our children's needs. We still have to find ways to bring joy into and around our children. This takes courage too, and this is the other reason why I love this theme, because everyday courage is important too. And because it is hard sometimes, it is good for us to stop and remember this and celebrate, and yes, to salute each other and ourselves for just a moment. And mostly, I'm happy to be here to talk about all the good things we have, the ways that we are living out courage and what I call Big L love, the kind of love that keeps us connected even through the really, really difficult, conflict-filled parts, and that pushes us to want to make sure that we are all able to live our full selves. I'm one of those lucky people who get to live Big L love through my work. As noted in my intro, I work with King County, and I'm the director of our Children, Youth, and Young Adult Division, and I'm the lead for Best Starts for Kids. In August, Best Starts was renewed by the voters for another 6 years in an overwhelming majority. This is truly remarkable. As a 6-year property tax levy initiative that is focused on prenatal to age 24, Best Starts is the largest and most comprehensive initiative of its kind in the country. Best Starts is based on so much more than being a funding source, though. It really is about creating a county where all children grow into everything they can be, where they have a sense of belonging, where families feel supported, and where our communities are positive places for children and families to grow. At its foundation, Best Starts is about promotion, prevention, early intervention, and policy and system change. I like to say that we work to increase the good things in people's lives, that we work to decrease the bad things, we step in early as possible when things go awry, and we wrap community around families. Finally, we work to change policies and systems so there are less things to go awry for young people and our families. I know many of you are familiar with the ideas of prevention and early intervention, so I wanted to just take a couple of minutes to talk about promotion and policy and system change. Promotion, or what we call the promotion of well-being part of Best Starts, is about really saying not just what we want to prevent for our young people, but what we want to create. Oftentimes, as a government and as other institutions, we are put into a position of needing to think about how do we stop the bad things from happening. And I know as a county, that is our obligation to make sure that we're working on the things that have gone awry for young people and we're finding solutions to that. Best Starts gives us an opportunity to come in earlier, though, to be able to support our families and our children from the very, very beginning. And not only from the time that they're born, but sometimes even for our younger kids at a time to keep them on the right track, not just to say what we don't want to have happen for them, but really, we want this for you. So it's a unique thing, but an opportunity for us as a community, as a county, to be able to talk about promotion of well-being for our children and not just prevention of the bad things. The other things that we recognize with Best Starts for Kids is that some of what we do for people is about their individual and family need. But a lot of what we experience in our daily lives is really about the systems and policies around us. And many of those systems and policies are actually harmful to our children and our communities. And it makes it difficult for all children and families to grow and thrive. So Best Starts is committed to taking a look at those systems and policies that we have created or maybe that came before us and really being able to say what works here and what doesn't work here. We don't do that in isolation. We work very closely with our community-based partners and their ability to help us think through those issues as they themselves have been working and being embedded within our systems changes. The majority of the funds go to the earliest years, prenatal to 5, when we as humans do our most intense growing and establishing the foundation for all that is to come in the rest of our lives. We understand that investing in children and families from the very beginning is critical, but we also understand that it takes more than just us as parents and families, that we sometimes need our team around us. And so we partner with organizations who provide this team for families. This is particularly important right now in the times that we are in. Best Starts is also about community partnerships. We work with over 350 organizations to provide programs for our young people, and Kindering has been a vital partner right from the beginning. I can remember in the first few weeks that I started with the county, as we were still forming what Best Starts would be, I went to Kindering with the King County Executive, Dow Constantine, for a tour and to hear about their work. We talked about the importance of investing early in our children and families, about how important early support is for the diversity of needs for our children and families, and about how our systems need to change to embrace all of our children across all of our ways of being. Since then, Kindering has been an important community partner in providing services to children and families as a Best Starts for Kids grantee, and as an important ongoing thought partner in both the long term, in how we need to create systems change, but also in the here and now, how we need to continue the vital work of supporting children and families during this current pandemic. So I want to end today where I started, with my love of words. In the end, Best Starts is about 4 words: happy, healthy, safe, and thriving, for all of our children, for all of our youth, all of our young adults, all of our families and communities. Happy, healthy, safe, and thriving. I want to add to these words the words from Kindering: hope, courage, soaring, belonging. Let's imagine together, through all of these difficult times we've been through and all that is ahead for us, let's give this to our children: happiness, health, hope, courage, belonging, and an opportunity to soar. Thank you.